Tack Merface here. Yesterday I made a video about fuel planning. Watch it if you haven't. It's fine. You know, we meet Captain Bob. In that video, I mentioned a suitable en route alternate for the reduced contingency fuel, reducing it down from 5% or 15 minutes, whichever is higher, down to 3% of trip. And this diagram is sort of the summary of it, and I really don't like these rules. I mean, they could be a lot simpler, but they're not. And this diagram does a good job explaining it, along with the words in EU Ops on page 53 of EU Ops. But I thought I would draw it out myself to make it slightly easier to understand. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw a couple of circles. Here's circle number 1. Here's circle number 2, and then we're going to name them. This is going to be the departure airport, just like on theirs, and this is going to be the destination airport. And then we have a flight plan route. So let's go ahead and let's use a stroke, which is magenta, so that because we're pilots, except if it doesn't want us to draw magenta lines, that's fine. And then, so we'll draw the magenta lines here, and then we do this because, I don't know, mountains or something. And so we draw this. That's kind of silly, isn't it? So I'll do something like this. There you go. And so we have this route. And I'm going to use a better example than theirs. I'm going to use 1,000 nautical miles as an example. So the total, what they call the total flight plan distance is 1,000 nautical miles. Okay? So, in order to have an adequate en route alternate that would allow you to choose a 3% contingency, you have to do a few things, which is why it bugs me so much. So, the first thing, we need to pick the center point for our calculations, because we're going to have to draw a radius. And so, the first center point is going to be 25% of the total distance. So it's 1,000 nautical miles, 25% from the destination of the total distance, or 75% of the total route. And that's going to be around 250 nautical miles from the destination. Let's say that's around here, right? And so I'm going to write in here 750 nautical miles. Okay, let's make it around here, actually, just to make our lives a little bit easier for what's about to come. That's the first rule, the 25% from the destination. However, you need to check and see if another point is greater, and that is 20% plus 50 nautical miles. 20% is 200, so 200 miles away, plus 50. And so we add that, that's 250 total, and so that ends up being in the same place, right? So okay, in this case it's the same, but in other examples they will be different, and so you pick the one with the greatest value. So what we need to do here is we need to draw a radius. Now you might ask, okay, how big do I draw this radius? And the answer is you draw it so that it's 20% of the total route. So this radius here is going to be 200 nautical miles. So the radius is 200 nautical miles, okay? And so now, as long as you pick an alternate which is within the size, within this radius, and you get an en route alternate in here, this would be an adequate en route alternate where you would be allowed to reduce your contingency fuel down to 3%. That's it. That's the rule. That's what is a suitable en route alternate for contingency planning. It's silly. If you haven't watched my video, watch the other video. Okay, bye.